Good morning from Louisiana. Ooh, today, let's talk about 7 steps that are going to help you downsize, declutter, and alleviate that stress and that overwhelming feeling and all that chaos behind. Whew. So, those of you who don't know, me and my wife have kind of finalized and finished our downsizing since May, uh, and we're in the last of it. I have my last stuff that we're going to keep in a 16-foot container, and today we are going to store it in my in-laws' shed. So it just allows us the place to come and go and pick up things and drop things off or whatever until we find a place that we're gonna settle down. But we're working on that. But anyhow, so when we talk about downsizing, or anybody talks about downsizing, most people think that you're just throwing things away, just going through and just throwing things away, broken stuff or unwanted stuff. It's a lot more than that. It's for everybody. It's a different journey. It's a point in their life with stage, or I guess they're moving on to the next stage. Is what I'm trying to say. Everybody has different paths, and for us, it's to downsize and get rid of all this stuff that has been overtaking our lives, right? But there is actually a process and the steps that will help downsize. If you haven't downsized or you're thinking about downsizing, these steps will help you get through this stuff a lot easier. So, my friends that have done it, my new friends that have done it, my friends that are going through it, pretty much have told me these pretty much spot on. And I have quite a few friends that will be taking this journey soon, and hopefully it helps them out. So I guess the first rule is you need to establish a vision, goals, as you would say, that what do you want to achieve? What is the outcome of you downsizing? Look at it. What do you want your life to be, or what do you want this to be after you've gotten rid of and downsized? For us, it was moving into an RV and traveling full time, moving out of the state that we live in, and trying to find a new place to live while traveling the U.S. and maybe outside the U.S. And seeing what there is. We want to experience a little bit of life before we're not able to travel anymore. That's our vision. So we getting a new RV. We've downsized. We're putting things in storage, and travel the U.S. and abroad until we're done traveling, basically. So that's our vision. That's why we wanted to downsize. We kind of outgrew the house that we're in. We didn't have a big house. We grew out the things. My kid is an adult now, and we're just usually in the bedroom, the kitchen, in my office, and that was our life. We didn't really use the rest of the house, so didn't make much sense to have that big of a house anymore. So, first thing you want to, or the second thing you want to do, once you figure out your vision, the second thing is to take an inventory of the stuff you got. Do a walkthrough through your house, your shed, your basement, your garage, your yard. Take a mental note or write it down on paper, whatever is going to help you the best, and kind of take an inventory of what you got and what you need to go through. Excuse me. You don't have to. I mean, it's just something you want to take mental note. Okay, I need to go through this closet. I need to go through this. Maybe take a mental note or written down, what things you want to tackle first. So, and then I would say, I like this big old storage unit, little garage. It'd be an awesome workshop. Um, I like workshops. My father-in-law's got an awesome little workshop in the back of his house. But yeah, anyways. So number 3 would be organize your categories, right? So for us, we had a bunch of plastic bins. We labeled them trash, donate, gift, recycle, uh, what was it? Sell and keep. So we had all these things labeled out. Apparently we had a lot of plastic containers, and we also had bags, trash bags and stuff that we put like clothing that we donated and whatever, and just kind of get that stuff organized, figure out how and what you're gonna do with these containers. The categories are gonna be easy to go through. The one category that's going to probably be the most difficult is the unsure category. If you're not sure to get rid of it, if you're not sure that you want to keep it, put it in that bin. You'll figure it out. You can come back to it later. All right. The next category. Start with manageable. I don't want to call it. When you start with a manageable area. Start easy. Work your way to more difficult. For my wife, and she just decided, one day, all right, we're going to try this. And she just went to a corner and went through everything in the corner and just took one item at a time and figured out what they were going to keep, trash and recycle and gift, whatever. They went through that whole process. And when they were done, they kind of looked back and like, that was kind of refreshing, relaxing. And then they went to a closet, and then, that just kind of did the momentum of going to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. And that started back in May. And here it is September, and we got nothing in the house. So, unless you have a box of rocks like my wife, we're never going to get rid of those box of rocks. And those of you who don't know what the box of rocks are, that's the box of rocks we have that my wife will not get rid of. She loves those box of rocks. Don't know if she wants to keep them. She doesn't know what all those rocks were from, but she does. She likes rocks. So the next step is save the essential, safe keep the sentimental value items last. You don't have to go through those. That could be photos and documents and souvenirs or whatever is sentimental to you. Save it till last. You don't have to go through that right then and this note. Maybe write it down on a pad of paper. All right, these are my sentimental items. We're going to go through this and figure it out, because they're going to take more time to actually go through and decide if you're going to keep or whatnot. And some of the stuff you can digitize, you can gift it, you can do a lot of things with these things. You don't have to hang on to them. You can go down memory lane and decide, okay, let it go. I did quite a few of that stuff. These were some great memories. But we have to ask ourselves, does my kid want this when I'm dead or I'm gone? And typically the answer is going to be no. And then I think if you ask yourself that, it's a lot easier to let things go. And I like this shed. I love this shed. It'd be a great workshop. All right. So now the next step is trying to determine that method of a release. So decide each item, whether you're going to sell, donate, gift, discard it, or whatever. Ensuring that each item that you put in the bin does not come back out. And for us, I don't think very many things came out. It's going to be a tough thing, because every now and then there's like my wife will put something in a bin. I'm like, I didn't want to get rid of that. And I'll go back and take it out, or she'll do the same thing. And that can be difficult. Oh, baby. Yeah, my little puppy dog. I'm going to sit down and chill here. That can be difficult. But take your time. Go through it, and usually the stuff that she put in the bin, I ended up putting it right back. You know what? Let it go. And you're gonna find that as you go through each room, for me, the more and more we did this, the more and more I would say easier for me just to get rid of things, because I think a part of it I just wanted to be done with it and just get rid of it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Whatever. And then there was things that I wish I had kept. I could have used it a day or two later. I could have used that. I could have used that. But you know what? It wasn't the end of the world. And I could have used it, but it didn't stop or prevent anything. And I think a good rule too, when you're letting these things go, if you ain't used it in a year, 2, 3 years, let it go. And I think a lot of the stuff that we had, we ain't using this stuff. Let it go. Except for my tools. I don't want to get rid of all my tools. I get rid of quite a few of my tools, but I don't want to get rid of all my tools because eventually, we're going to use that again. But if they, whatever, if things got stolen out of here or we lost everything in this shed here, we're fine with it. I'll just say that. It's not the end all of end all, but kind of take your time and just figure out, whatever. But when, you determine your method of release, you get rid of these things, it feels good, Hopefully that made sense. And then acknowledge, the last step is acknowledge your process, your progress, progress. Words are similar, Downsizing can be chaotic at times, be stressful and overwhelming. It's going to be overwhelming, I guarantee you that. It'll be stressful too. And but acknowledge the small wins. You got rid of that corner. How did that make you feel? All right, maybe you just do one little section a day, closet a day, whatever it is. One little section, it'll make you feel good. Oh, that looks clean. It looks small. It felt good getting rid of that stuff. Acknowledge those wins, because that's going to be the momentum that you're going to use going on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And those are my 7 wonderful steps. So just to kind of reiterate the 7 steps that we used. We established our vision. What it was it that we want to achieve when this is all done and over with. We wanted to create an inventory of the stuff that we wanted to go through. And make sure, we had a little to-do list. We marked everything down. Closet, the bedroom closet number 1, 2, 3, shed, garage. We had all this stuff, and we figured out what order we were going to do everything. Organize by category. Get your bins ready. Donate, recycle. The gifting program. I love the gifting program. One of the categories is gifting. The stuff I was just going to leave at people's houses without telling them. So I highly recommend that. It's very satisfying. It's very funny. And, maybe months or later, they might ask you about it. They may not even know. And we just take like really crazy things or whatever, something that's just not them. And then we'll sneak it in when we go over there and just leave it someplace obvious or not so obvious. And just whatever. And it's just kind of funny. But yeah, gift things to people. But anyhow, so you organize your categories and then start small areas, manageable areas, and work your way to the more difficult stuff. Number 5, that was 4. Number 5 was save the sentimental items for last. Definitely go through that, the last thing, because that's going to be the more difficult stuff to go through. Number 6, again, we want to determine the method of release. Get rid of their stuff. Hey, we're going to take all our donations. We're going to take our trash. I took truckloads to trash, truckloads to recycling center, truckloads to donations. And then whatever else we were going to give away. And then, 7, finally, acknowledge your accomplishments, your little wins and stuff. And I think those are going to help you get to where you want to be. The downsizing process is very, very overwhelming, but very, very rewarding. And for us, we're excited to be done and pretty much done with it and ready to begin our next adventure, hopefully next month. So with that, give me a like, subscribe, tell me your comments, tell me, what your journey has. If you've been downsizing, I like to know, I like hearing and reading the stories of people that have downsizing or are looking to, and what were some of the struggles. But with that, you all take care. I'll see you guys when I get back home. Bye.